The
fucking
first
hypochondriac fucking crazy weirdo wants me to stick my finger in his ass.
Showtime. Welcome to Hey, did you ever see that movie? I'm your host, Des, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Lynn.
Well, now, I'm no lawyer, but I do believe that's a violation of my rights.
And joining us again, the podcaster with a fully packed bong, Pat.
Can I borrow your towel? My car just hit a water bottle.
Okay, this week we will be discussing the 1985 comedy Fletch, directed by Michael Ritchie, written by Gregory McDonald and Andrew Bergman. It stars Chevy Chase, Joe Don Baker, Dana Wheeler, Nicole, Richard Libertini. Sounds like a law office. And Richard Libertini. As always, this podcast will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, then come back and listen to the podcast. And now, it's time for another installment of Disaster Piece Theater. Welcome to Disaster Piece Theater, where me and my two co-hosts will act out one scene from the movie that we are reviewing for you this evening. So please, sit back, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the show.
Quiet on the set!
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Gil Stanwyck,
Yeah?
I haven't seen you since the wedding. You look great.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. You know, I have to confess something. I must have been pretty plowed at your wedding. I don't have any idea who you are.
Not my wedding, your wedding.
Oh, my wedding. Nope. Doesn't really help me. Are you a friend of Alan's?
Yes, we used to fly together. I'm John Cocktoaston.
Oh, John. Haha, it's a beautiful name. Odd combination.
So were my parents, Scottish Romanian.
Excuse me, senor. Are you a member of the club?
No, I'm here with the Underhills.
They have left for the day, senor.
That's right. They'll be back. He left for his urinalysis.
Would you like a drink while you wait, senor? I'll put it on the Underhill's bill.
Yes, very good. I'll have a Bloody Mary, a steak sandwich, and a steak sandwich.
Very good, sir.
Cut! Cut! Cut!
I'm no Chevy Chase.
No, you are not.
And now it's time for Dez's 4 and 1 fun and 1 fake fact, where it will be up to my two hosts to figure out which fact is total bullshit. Number 1. Jeff Bridges was considered for the role of Fletch. Number 2. Charles Grodin was considered for the role of Fletch. Number 3. Richard Dreyfuss was considered for the role of Fletch. Number 4. Barry Bostwick was considered for the role of Fletch. And number 5. Jeff Goldblum was considered for the role of Fletch. So Lynn, which of those 5 actors was not considered for the role of Fletch?
They're all bullshit. None of those are true.
They're all true. Not all of them.
No.
One's fake. One's fake.
No, that's all bullshit. I
No.
only saw 2 names attached and none of them
Kid,
are on that list.
kid. One is fake. I did a deep
Don't
dive.
wee-woo. Don't wee-woo me.
Just pick
Don't
one.
do it. You didn't even list Mick Jagger, the most interesting one that was actually considered for it.
He was never truly considered.
Well, that's what they were listing in the
Well,
trivia.
it's not true.
Oh, well, so you know and they don't.
Yes, I did a deep dive.
Okay, sure. Captain Know-It-All. Let's see. Jeff Goldblum.
Okay. And Pat, which one do you think is bullshit?
Number 5, Goldblum.
Okay, I did this so long ago, I don't know which one is fake.
Actually, I'm looking at the list of people that were considered, and he's not on it.
Okay, if I had to guess, it would be Jeff Goldblum. So nice job, guys. All right, you both got it right. I think, but honestly, I think Jeff Goldblum would have been a very good Fletch.
Oh, especially like the older Jeff Goldblum when he
Yes.
does the thing and he talks like almost like William Shatner. Like,
Yes.
it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's got a good dry sense of humor that would work as Fletch, and he's super tall and good looking, and yeah, I think it would work. Okay, with a budget of $8 million and a box office gross of $59 million, this movie was considered a huge success. Let's do some opening thoughts. So, Dylan, have you ever seen Fletch all the way through before preparing for this podcast?
Yeah, you've made me watch it on multiple occasions.
Okay. And Pat, have you ever seen Fletch before preparing for the podcast?
Yes, many, many times.
Okay, and I must confess, this is one of my favorite movies of all times, and I think that I have seen it exactly 752 times, to be exact. Okay, Dylan, will you please give us the synopsis?
Erwin M. Fletcher is a newspaper reporter being offered a large sum of money to murder a millionaire dying of cancer. Not believing his story to be true, Fletch finds the man is healthy and begins an investigation into why he would ask him to murder him in the first place. That's it.
All right, bring us in to the movie.
All right. Los Angeles Times reporter Erwin Fletcher, Chevy Chase, is writing an article exposing drug trafficking on the beach, where he suspects food vendor Fat Sam, played by George Wendt, of distributing heroin from his burger shack. Posing as a homeless addict during his investigation, he is approached by Alan Stanwyck, played by Tim Matheson, who mistakenly assumes Fletch is just a junkie. Offering Fletch $1,000 just to hear out his proposal, Stanwyck takes him to his luxury mansion in Beverly Hills, where he formally introduces himself and says that he works for Boyd Aviation as the executive vice president. Stanwyck claims to have bone cancer, with only months left to live, and wishes to avoid the pain and suffering. Stanwyck offers $50,000 for Fletch to come to his mansion in a few days' time, kill him, and then escape to Rio de Janeiro, staging the murder to appear as a result of a burglary. Fletch is suspicious, but ostensibly agrees to the plan. Along with his colleague, Louisa Larry, played by the adorable Gina Davis, Fletch begins investigating Stanwyck instead of completing his drug trafficking expose, much to the dismay of his impatient boss, chief editor Frank Walker. So
The
does
end.
the...
Jesus. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Don't kill him on
You
the
asked
air.
me to do this, and then all you can do is try to roast me through the whole thing.
Okay.
How about you
go.
just fucking knock it off?
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay.
All right. This movie was your choice because it's your favorite movie of all times. So let's open the commentary with you, Mr. Magoo.
Okay. First of all, Pat and I discuss this all the time. This music, very similar to another one of my favorite movies, Beverly Hills Cop. Pat, why is that a fact?
Well, that would be because Harold Faltermeyer, the creator of Axel F's theme, wrote, I think, 3 or 4 different songs in this one movie.
Yeah. So very similar to Beverly Hills Cop. I love the sound of this movie. It sounds great. And kind of, I don't know, kind of in the same vein. I mean, investigation. It's fun. I love it. Fat Sam. We're gonna get a little Norm from Cheers here. Boston Bar. One of the bars in my hometown. Yeah.
Oh, God, you're so douchey. Why? You're talking like you hang out at Cheers. You're like one of my hometown bars. You haven't stepped foot into a Cheers in your life.
Well, I think I was like fucking 11 when it was on the air, so. Oh, God. All right. Go to Pat.
Okay, Pat. Any thoughts on our opening scene? Is this just what this whole podcast is gonna be like?
I think this is going to be too confusing. I remember the first time I saw this movie and I saw Fat Sam. The very first thing that came to my mind, Norm!
Yeah.
So I have to give him that. But no, this is one of my favorite movies. It's one of what I call a comfort movie. We all have them. Movie you can watch over and over and over again and still get the same kind of enjoyment out of it. This, if I remember right, this was the first movie Chevy Chase did after he had his problem with his drugs. which I completely forgot about until I started researching the movie.
Interesting.
And there was a lot of ad-libbing in this movie.
Yeah, they did say that this is Chevy Chase's favorite movie of his, that he feels like he got to do the most of his like own thing here, because they would do a take that was straight up the script, and then they would do an ad lib take, and ended up putting a lot of the ad lib into the movie and not using the script.
Right.
So the beginning of the movie, I have a couple of questions. One, why would Alan Stanwyck mix this subplot in with guys that he knows are working with the drug pushers that are involved with the chief of police, which he's about to try to screw? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why not pick a different junkie off the fucking beach that he doesn't know is directly hanging around with Fat Sam and Gummy, who are pushing drugs for the police chief, who he is bringing Fletch into to screw the police chief? There's just way too much risk here for this plot to get back to the police chief. So I thought that was kind of I don't know. It didn't really work in the plot. I mean, of course, Alan Stanwyck has to meet Fletch and start, bringing him into the story. I get it. But as I was watching it for the podcast, I'm like, a guy like Alan Stanwyck, which says, I'm not a man who leaves a lot to chance. There's no way this is the guy he's going to pick for the job. I mean, do you agree?
I would agree with that, and never mind the fact. Think about this. Think about you. Put yourself in Fletch's place. Somebody walks up to you and asks you to murder him for $50,000. What person in their right mind says, "Oh yeah, I'll do that"?
Well, never considers it for a second. He's a newspaper reporter,
right? But the point I'm trying to make is Alan Stanwyck's supposed to be someone who doesn't take risk, and meanwhile he's offering somebody something that no one in their right mind would accept, and could easily turn around and go to the cops.
No, because he assumes that Fletch is a drifter junkie who has no moral compass and would be more than happy to do something like that for $50,000 because he probably doesn't have $5 in his pocket. So I understand why he's comfortable off making the offer to Fletch. I just don't know why he wouldn't pick a different vagrant from the beach that isn't directly involved with his business partners. It doesn't make sense.
The only thing I can say sure is the reason why he picked Fletch to begin with was because he was a similar body shape, a similar size, a similar height.
Obviously,
so he might have been struggling to find somebody that would fit his bill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not. It's fine. It's fucking Fletch. I don't need it to make perfect sense. I'm just saying it was something I noticed. We get some great lines here. It's nothing of the sexual nature, I assure you, and Fletch, I assure you. And, he introduces himself as Ted Nugent. And then, Alan says Alan, and he goes, Ellen, charmed. I mean, these are great improv lines. They get to the house, they get to the mansion, this must have cost hundreds, and
I almost bought this place.
I almost bought this place. You redesigned the garage. I mean, it's all great.
Cassidy killed himself here.
Yeah.
It's all tragic.
It's all great. It's all great.
There's just so many of them. It's hard to keep track of them all.
Yeah. Oh, it's just endless. It's endless improv. It's great. It gets the movie. We get to the newspaper building. We meet his boss. He's fucking great. We're gonna get tons of Lakers references in this and the next Fletch movie because Chevy Chase, huge Lakers fan. And yeah, thought it was a good intro.
Excellent. Let's move on. The next day, Fletch endures a rectal exam from Stanwyck's doctor, Dr. Dolan, in a failed attempt to talk Dolan into divulging medical information about Stanwyck. Later that same day, disguised as a doctor, Fletch accesses Stanwyck's file in the hospital's record room and learns Stanwyck lied to him about having cancer. Fletch visits Stanwyck's wife, Gail, played by Dana Wheeler Nicholson, who we just saw as Maddie Earp in Tombstone, at her tennis club, and pretending to be a friend of her husband's, flirts with her during an impromptu tennis lesson, but does not uncover very much from her. Next, Fletch poses as an FCC agent while he visits Gail's father, Stanton Boyd, the head of Boyd Aviation, to inquire about Stanwyck's finances. Fletch finds that Gail recently converted $3 million of her personal stock in Boyd Aviation into cash for her husband to buy a ranch in Provo, Utah. So, to me, Des, one of the most clever things that the writers did with this character is the way they have Fletch give non-answers to questions in a way that the person asking might think he just misunderstood them or that they might be the one making the mistake. It's very clever.
Yeah, the doctor is too smart for this, though. And we get some really great dialogue through all of these scenes that you've just described. You know, we're going to get Dr. Rosen, Dr. Rosen Penis. We're going to get, I'm not really
Babar.
prepared. Babar, that's two B's. Yeah, I thought you meant right next to each other. You don't have any children? No, elephant books. I mean, it's just endless great stuff. When he goes into the corner and, I'm not prepared. I haven't washed my hands. You're not going to make this guy any sicker, get me a glass of hot fat and the head of Jerry Garcia. Forget it. Just get me a copy of Alfredo. Just get me a copy of the Beatles' White Album. I mean, fucking just endless great stuff here. Endless great stuff here. Where am I? You're in the records room. Oh,
then I'm fine.
Records room. Then I'm fine. Oh, am I hyperventilating? So good. Pat, what you think?
I thought just what he had to go through for the medical exam was friggin' hysterical. He's trying to con his way into the information, and he has no choice but to submit to this physical exam. And he tries, just seeing him try to talk the doctor out of the prostate exam. And I thought it was one of the funniest parts of the scene is the doctor's a big guy. He completely disappears behind Fletch before Fletch cries out, "Moon River."
You ever serve time
and I know, I mean, this actor is a big guy. He completely disappears. You don't see an ounce of him. I thought that was pretty clever to do it that way.
And then these iconic lines. Hey, ever serve time, Doc? Yeah, you're using the whole fist?
And he was so clever. He was just so nonchalant. You using the whole fist, Doc?
I don't find anything wrong with you. Sure it's not from a lack of looking. So, funny story. At work the other day, Pat and myself were working with our boss, and he revealed that he had to get his first prostate exam. He was getting a physical, and the doctor said, it's that time. And our boss was like, nope, not doing it. And we don't have to do that. And the doctor was like, oh, we're doing it. And the boss is like, we're not doing it. And the doctor got mad, was like, drop your pants and bend over. Like he yelled at him. And he was forced to do it. So, fun fact, I have never had a prostate exam by a doctor, but I did make Delynn give me a prostate exam once. My wife, she has very small fingers. You should see the look on her face right now.
And I'm just shaking my head thinking, why the fuck is he saying this?
Oh, I tell everybody about that.
I'm sure you do. You must take a lot of pride in that.
You're a fucking broken individual.
I'm not sure she even knew what she was looking for, to be honest with you.
Probably not. I'm not a doctor.
I'm thinking the first thing in her mind was, when is this over?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
This fucking hypochondriac fucking crazy weirdo wants me to stick my finger in his ass.
That is so much funnier than the way he says it.
Holy shit. Okay. So there you go.
Moving on?
Shall we move on? Holy
Please?
Jesus. Okay.
Where are we?
Fletch returns to his apartment for the day and finds that his ex-wife's lawyer, who's now her husband, Marvin Gillette, is waiting for him to... What?
That's not her husband.
Oh. No? Are you sure?
No. Yeah.
All right.
Lawyer.
That's what the write-up says.
Wife's lawyer.
Waiting for him to collect unpaid alimony. Fletch gives Gillette the... is it Gillette or Gillette? Whatever. I don't
Gillette.
care. The $1,000 cash bribe money that Stanwyck gave him earlier to make him leave. After having a cold beer, Fletch goes to sleep and has a dream of being a Major League basketball player playing for the Lakers and scoring a hoop. The next day, while undercover at the beach, he discovers one of Fat Sam's customers, Gummy, running away from a patrolling squad car. Fletch tries to intervene when the cops catch Gummy and beat him up, but Fletch gets kicked in the groin by one of the cops, and they haul Gummy away in the car. Fletch retaliates by throwing a rock through the car's back windshield, but the car keeps going. Pat, so I think that my favorite part of the whole movie might be the Lakers dream. It's so stupid, it's hilarious.
Oh my God. Just everything, the way they describe him. You're doing well when you get a big name like Chick Hearn and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to do a bit in the movie. And I said this to Des the other day when we were working. It's great as he starts to fall asleep and he's listening to the commentary and his eyes close and his eyes close. And then all of a sudden you hear, and what about Fletch? And then the eyebrow goes up and the one eye cracks open. I was in tears. This gritty kid from Brooklyn. He is 6'4", 6'5", 6'9" with the afro. And the afro is the funniest thing you have ever seen.
6.9 million a year. It's true, but he earns every penny of it. Dude, so did you guys notice the picture of the dog behind his bed? I told you to take a look at it, Pat.
You told me about that, and I didn't.
Oh my God. It's fucking awesome. It's this little rat dog, and it's like all frizzled out and just insane.
He has some very interesting art up on his walls.
Yeah.
I have to search for it.
It's really good.
Like I usually do, playing before me. So
it's really good.
I have to see this dog you're talking about.
It's an awesome picture. I would hang the picture up. So I love when Fletch pulls up in front of his apartment, and we're getting the monologue that he's giving through the entire movie. And as I approached my imitation palatial apartment, it's so good. And I witnessed the car of my ex-wife's fucking lawyer. So I think what it was that she was cheating on Fletch with the lawyer while they were going through the divorce proceedings, because he says she had a bum lawyer. I think she might have been sleeping with him. And he says, I think you might be right. Really? That's ancient news, Fletch. So I think that, there was an affair there. And then in Fletch 2, I think they do end up getting married, because if you'll remember, he signs over the deed to the Belle Isle estate that he had to cancel out the rest of the payments he'd owe his wife for alimony. So I believe that's how it all plays out. When he comes in, and, we're going to get tons of classic Chevy Chase here. He knocks the orange juice into the briefcase. When he comes up to Gillette and he hits his head, he draws the foul. It's so good. It's so good.
I just got to that scene with the picture of that dog, and it's like, holy Christ.
So good.
What was that picture taken at? Like the ugliest dog contest showcase? My God, that thing is hideous.
I love when in the dream sequence too, where they show Fletch taking the bite out of the guy's arm. So good.
Oh, that's they go into slow motion as everybody and their cousin are draping their arms, and he just reaches over, takes a big bite, and they stop right as he's about to bite into the arm.
Yeah,
too funny.
Good. Dylan, what'd you think?
Yeah, like I said, the best part of the whole scene to me is the Lakers dream. It's the stupid afro is ridiculous. The bite, the hands, the slow-mo, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar pumping his tires. I mean, hilarious.
So good.
It's the best part of the whole movie to me, because it just I might forget the rest of the movie, but I remember the steak sandwich and the steak sandwich, and I remember the Laker dream.
There's so
Laker dream
much.
is very easy to remember.
There's so much, and it's all so good. So let's keep rolling.
All right, so after a few days later, Fletch travels to Provo, where he breaks into a realtor's office and discovers the deed lists the sale price as only $3,000, not $3 million. He barely escapes from the office while being chased around by a guard dog. Meanwhile, LAPD Chief Jerry Carlin gets wind of Fletch's soon-to-be-published drug article. He sends 2 thuggish detectives to Fletch's apartment to arrest him after they plant heroin on him. The 2 take Fletch to meet with Carlin, who tells Fletch he is jeopardizing the lives of undercover cops he's planted on the beach to bust the drug trade. When Fletch insults Carlin, he takes Fletch to an empty jail cell and threatens to shoot him and put a switchblade in his dead hand to claim self-defense. Fletch tells Carlin he's going to work on another story about off-track betting in the Himalayas instead. An amused Carlin then lets him go. Fletch finds out later Carlin had him arrested because of Fletch's boss, who wants Fletch to stop investigating what he considers a ludicrous story about drug-dealing cops. When Fletch confronts his boss about the incident, Frank refuses to believe Fletch's story about Carlin's plan to kill him. Fletch storms off, angry but more determined than ever to break the story. So, Des, did you recognize that one of the cops that arrests Fletch in his house is Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yes, now that you say it. I didn't put it
Yes.
together when I first noticed it, but yes, I do notice now that it's him. Oh, God. All of these scenes are so great. When they bum rush him in his apartment, you got a gun, creep? Shamu's got one. Borrow his.
Borrow
It's
his.
fucking so good. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, that's my dick. It's so good. Oh, when they get to fucking Chief Carlin's office, who's this? Tommy Lasorda. I hate Tommy Lasorda. He punches it and just so many great lines. What's your name? Fletch. Full name. Fletch F. Fletch. What do you do, Fletch? I'm a shepherd. I like men. I like you. Why don't you guys go pump each other? It's just endless great shit. And then he gets him down into the cell. Swing low, sweet chair. You can't keep me here, Chief. And maybe I'm not planning on holding you. Maybe I'm planning on blowing your brains out. And I believe this guy. 100%. I have no doubt that he would have shot and killed Fletch and put the hand in his what do you guys think? You guys think he would have killed him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the entire police department was corrupt. The chief was corrupt. The two detectives he sent to get Fletch were corrupt. Even the desk sergeant's got an attitude, talking about, oh, you're gonna love the chief. He's a real happy guy. Yeah, I heard that about him after he came out of the closet.
I heard he really chilled out after he came out of the closet. You should take a picture of this guy's face while he still has one. All good stuff. So interesting. So I like the subplot that they put in that Alan Stanwyck is a bigamist and he has another wife in Provo, Utah. Provo, Spain, or is it Provo, Utah? Provo, Utah. And so what this does is it makes it believable because you got to be asking yourself, why is he going to rip off the chief? They've got this great thing going. He's super rich. This has nothing to do with money. Alan Stanwyck has more money than he could ever spend. This has to do with the fact that he wants to steal Gail Stanwyck's money and the chief's stake money, and he wants to go to his high school sweetheart, who he loves. He married Gail Stanwyck because he's a con man. Alan Stanwyck is a con man.
Yes.
And that's why he married her. And this whole thing has been a plan since day one to get enough money for him and his wife to basically be together and disappear. So I thought that was a clever subplot.
I have to agree with that. It's funny how the story starts out about Fletch doing a story about drugs at the beach, and it brings in the characters, the chief and Gummy and Fat Sam, and then it switches to the subplot of Alan Stanwyck wants Fletch to kill him. What was clever was, as the movie progresses, you come to see that they're all full circle. You have no idea Alan Stanwyck has anything to do with the chief until Fletch follows them, which how he wasn't seen is beyond me. But he sees that Stanwyck is with the chief, and now he starts to realize, well, what the hell's going on? Figures out the amount of time it takes him to fly his plane, where he's going with the fuel, and they just tied it all together right in a nice little bow.
Yeah. I think there had to be a better plan here, though. I don't believe Stanwyck is a killer, and I don't believe that Stanwyck is capable of killing Fletch in cold blood in his office. I think that Stanwyck would have been better hiring a second vagrant or junkie to kill Fletch. And
You don't know that he didn't.
so what?
You don't know that he didn't.
Well, I do know what he didn't because he was fucking waiting there with his gun.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's not going to, at gunpoint, take him somewhere else and have somebody kill him.
No, he was going to shoot
Okay.
him and kill him, so he says. But
Okay.
I mean, I just thought his character wasn't capable of that. But I mean, it looks like he's going to do it. But now, what if he hires somebody else to kill Fletch that night in the office? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Seems like he's taking a lot of chances here.
Feels like you're going a little too deep for Fletch.
Yeah.
None of it's paying off.
It's Fletch.
None of it's paying off. So, like I said in the beginning of the movie, he's included Fletch into this deal. Fletch is friends with Gummy and Sam. Gummy and Sam push drugs for Chief Carlin and Stanwyck. This whole thing was bound to blow up. There's no way he was getting away with this. It was all a bad plan from the beginning. And it blows up in his face.
Disguised as a redneck.
Where did you learn to read? Today, Junior. Hang on.
Just being in
Let's try an
proximity to you has
experiment.
made me dumber. How about
let's
that?
go for an experiment. Let's go for an
Your
experiment.
dumbness is rubbing off.
Where are we? Let's see. Disguised as a redneck. Oh, here we are. Okay, I'm going to take over. Here we
Okay, go. You had
Oh,
to do that.
Jesus.
Disguised as a redneck airplane mechanic, Fletch
We're in
shows up
trouble.
at Stanwyck's plane hangar and learns from two mechanics that Stanwyck has been using a plane each weekend to go to Utah, but uses as much fuel as it takes to travel to South America. Back at the tennis club, Fletch meets Gail at her cabana. He treats her to an expensive lunch he charges to the credit card of one snooty, obnoxious club member, Ted Underhill. Fletch gives her a little information about the investigation, but has to flee when Mr. Underhill shows up at Gail's door, demanding $400 that the lunch had cost. Pat, what do you think?
This is probably one of the funniest scenes, because I love how angry Ted Underhill gets as he's trying to be he's trying to be calm and very businessman, and I'd like to discuss this matter with you. And he just gets angrier and angrier the longer it takes for her to come to the door. That was probably my favorite part of the whole scene.
Yeah, I love the airplane hangar scene. So again, he doesn't need to wear an outfit. Nobody there knows him. He could show up fucking as himself. But I mean, then we don't get these great outfits. But I was saying that to you at work the other day about how I just didn't get why he had to keep putting on all these goofy little outfits, because nobody knows who he is. But this whole plane scene is fucking so funny. You know, they sniff that he is full of shit, and you should see my shoes. Oh, they look at his shoes; they're clean. He goes over to the plane. Hey, Gord, you want to check out this Fetzer valve? And he goes over and opens up the luggage rack. Don't tell me my business, boy. There's muck all over these windows. He goes over and touches the wing. I love this shape. Fucking cracks me up. Maybe you guys need a refresher. And he puts his hand on the fucking hot exhaust. Hey! Fucking, it's all so good. It's all so good.
He does such a great job of just improvising his cons as he's going.
Yeah. And Underhill is out of control. He's fucking unhinged. Okay. He's a fucking millionaire. It's $400. He is like going bananas on that door. Like, after I knocked like twice and she was like, oh, I'm just getting out of the shower. And, just a minute. After like the third time, I just be like, listen. Yeah, I just be like, listen, I'm just going to have them put this on your tab. Good enough? All right. Have a nice day. He is fucking losing he's going to kick the door down. Insane.
That's why.
Well, the people who have the most money are the cheapest.
Right.
You watched him earlier stiff the waiter on a tip because he tried to take his plate before he ate the last crumb off it.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely hate Underhill.
But he's looking for a reason not to tip that waiter. I think that's why he does it.
Yeah, because he's cheap ass.
Yeah, he's a fucking douche.
Nobody likes Ted Underhill.
Can I borrow your towel?
My car just hit a water buffalo.
You look about the same size as Alan from the waist up, I imagine.
Oh my God.
Okay. I think I proved my point on the reading end of this.
Did
go
you?
ahead.
Go ahead. Keep going. Let's see how you fare through the rest of it.
No,
let's
you go ahead and take it back. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You did such a good job. How could I ever take it back from you?
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Somebody take the reins for Christ's sake and put this thing
Fletch
back on
spies on Stanwyck making a suspicious briefcase exchange with Chief Carlin. but is unable to determine the nature of their relationship. He returns home to find 2 squad cars in his building's parking garage and flees, managing to avoid the capture after a harrowing
Guitar? Oh, is it a guitar case? Is it a guitar case or is it a car chase? Oh, yeah, you proved your point, bucko.
when Fletch steals an Alfa Romeo from a young car thief. He manages to stay ahead of them and is only able to shake them when he distracts them with all at a Lodge Club dinner. All right, take control again.
Okay, my point has been proven. Thank you very much.
I had one good paragraph in me. I had one good paragraph in me.
Yeah, that was it. You could only focus for that long. Okay, so I know it's not the focal point of the scene, but I'm taken aback by how much smoking is happening in the lodge dinner scene. Like I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much smoke in there. Like we're so used to that not being what it's like now, but like back then, that's what it was like when you went to like an event like that.
It's a sign of the times.
That looks like the cab of Pat's truck at lunch break.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I was stunned though, because I'm just not used to seeing that anymore. You see and even in a movie, you see a scene of people sitting in a dinner. There's not so much smoke, you can barely see through the lights.
Yeah.
You could pretty much take any movie from that era.
Yeah.
Mid-'80s. And it's a totally different culture when it comes to smoking. Totally different.
Totally.
It's really, and it's so prevalent. Just for example, a great example, Die Hard 2. He's in the airport and he's smoking in the airport.
That's so weird. It's so weird.
Oh, dude, Pat, they're all smoking on the airplane.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if you ever take a plane and you see an ashtray on the armrest, don't get off the plane. Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really old.
Yeah. You're like on a DC-10 and you're on your way to the face of a mountain.
Oh my God.
That's out of a destination.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also have to give props to the young kid, the car thief in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah. He was giving some good face. He's doing the screaming and it was pretty funny. It was a funny scene and I love it. You know, he's giving the cops all the things. And when he goes into the function hall, Lee the Dorfman. Hey, I couldn't wait. Thank you, Sammy. And, he starts, his wife, after 2 weeks of Trembling Hills and, the herpes had healed and the nose looks great again. These are all great scenes, great lines, all improv, I'm sure. Super funny.
Pat, how did you like that lodge scene?
It was pretty much the best improv you could come up with. I love the way he goes in the back and he grabs a box and he's a delivery man. He works his way into the place. And once he's in the kitchen, he grabs a waiter's jacket and a waiter's tray, and he just starts yelling out things. Hey, as he's walking about like he belongs there. I'm like, oh my God, that is so funny.
And he's taking drinks off other people's tables and putting them on the table next to them.
Yeah, like they've actually drank from it. Like they'll drink from the water. He takes it out of their hand and puts it in the table in front of somebody else. It's like, ew.
It's so great. And then
it was so funny.
Oh, say, can you see? Or whatever he starts. And everybody stands up and puts their hats over their fucking. It's so good.
It was a perfect getaway plan because now they've got everybody in the hall blocking the cops and they're hugging him and they're trying to shake their hands. And the camera did a great job of showing how many angry cops there were as they're trying to get through the crowd to get after Fletch.
So here's a question for you guys is, Chevy Chase says that this is his favorite movie. Do you guys feel that this movie is peak Chevy Chase?
This is Chevy at his very best for me.
Yeah, there's no question.
Okay. Is it your favorite Chevy Chase?
There's so much good Chevy Chase for me. Clark W. Griswold, I think, is my favorite Chevy Chase. First one, Vacation, the original. I think that's my favorite Chevy Chase.
Yeah. I'm thinking between Clark Griswold and then from Caddyshack. The guy from Caddyshack is a fantastic character.
Yep,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
mean, Ty, that's his name in Caddyshack, I believe. It's okay. He's just playing Chevy Chase there. I mean, I'm Chevy
Well,
Chase.
yeah. I mean, I don't think that he's doing much more than playing Chevy Chase and Fletch either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Yeah, that's why I think that Clark W. Griswold is his best character of all times. It's developed so perfectly.
I think that's his most memorable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
When somebody says Chevy Chase, the first name you're thinking of and the first character that's coming to your mind is Clark.
Yeah.
But so many good ones. I mean, he was great in Cops and Robertsons. He was really good in Spies Like Us, one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's fucking Chevy Chase. Fucking great.
And a movie that you probably don't remember much, at least I don't. I should actually look for it. Modern Problems.
Oh, great. Yeah, love it. With Daphne Coleman. Yeah, really funny.
I don't know if I ever saw that one.
He's a
there's some. It's almost like a combination of Possession and Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, he's a air traffic controller. Gets stuck behind a toxic waste vehicle leaving work.
With the sunroof open
and the window window cranker broken, and yeah, so he gets these powers where he can move things with his mind. Dabney Coleman, him and his girlfriend go to a beach house for a weekend with a bunch of people, and just everything goes awry. And it's a great movie. I really love it. Yeah,
it's pretty zany is the right word, I think.
Yeah. It's a campy movie. It's very obscure, but it's definitely really good Chevy Chase.
I remember seeing it when I was a kid with the family. It goes back that far.
Wow. Cool. Yeah. All right. So Fletch returns to Provo, and under the guise of an insurance investigator, Stanwyck interviews Stanwyck's parents. Fletch discovers Stanwyck has been secretly married to another woman for 8 years, having used Gail for her money. He returns to Beverly Hills and shares what he has found out with her, who's, very upset about her husband's bigamy, because of course she would be. I feel like we should pause here and talk about the family, because I think that they're kind of hilarious. It's like, this dude has all this money and his parents are like living on a dirt farm. It's so weird.
Yeah. Well,
I don't get it.
It's funny you bring that up, because I thought to myself, what Stanwyck got his money when he married Gail, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how the hell? I'm just trying to figure out how he swung this. He's married to Sally Ann Kavanaugh.
Yes.
And he's not rich. He goes off to L.A. and marries
okay, so
Gail.
he becomes a commercial pilot for her father's company. So
that's where he makes his money.
So he's a commercial pilot, and he works his way up through the company, meets Stanwyck's, her father's daughter, and ends up dating her and marrying her. And then no longer is a commercial pilot. He now is like upper management for Boyd Aviation.
Okay, so he's basically sending money back to his wife. But, you would still think that he would send his parents a little bit of cash.
They're simple people, and they look like they have everything they need. They don't look like they're struggling.
And now that I think about it, they don't know anything about Gail.
No, they don't.
Or they don't know anything about the money.
Right. Yeah, they just think he's a commercial pilot.
Just a pilot.
Correct.
Interesting. He's fooling a lot of people, especially people very close to his life. That would be very hard to pull off.
But he's telling a lot of big lies in tight circles. I mean, this is not sustainable behavior.
Yeah. No, we never see Sally Ann, right?
Just photographs.
Right. So we never actually see her, and we don't know where she ended up.
Right.
No.
Interesting.
Except she was at a motel near the airport.
Yeah, waiting for him.
Correct. Is there anybody sitting next to me? I've got all these plans, and yes, Miss Sally Ann Kavanaugh, you bought the ticket. Doesn't mean I want her sitting next to me. Oh shit, so good.
Oh, goodness
His
gracious.
his improv. One of the best parts of this, things about this movie is the way he can play right off the hip with whatever comes his way, whatever's thrown at him. He manages to deflect and turn around to his advantage through the entire movie, no matter what it is. Conning his way through the airport hangar, the airplane hangar with the two rednecks, just to the doctor at the physical.
Yeah,
It's
Dr.
everything-
Jellyfinger.
Dr. Jellyfinger, yes. It's everything that he wants to get done is accomplished through just total bullshit.
So do
Yeah.
we think that Sally Ann is complicit in what he
No.
was doing?
No,
No, you
she's
think
clueless.
she had no idea?
No
You
idea.
don't think she knew that he had married another woman? That's where
No.
the money was coming from?
Nope.
Ooh,
do not.
That's
do
some
not.
tight lying with some people very close to you.
I mean, there is the fact that she is waiting at the airport hotel.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she knows that
but-
they're going to Brazil. He knows that they're leaving and going somewhere.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
she's a
that doesn't.
simpleton.
I don't remember that. I don't remember the explanation as to why she's meeting him at the airport.
Because they're going to Brazil. They're leaving.
Yeah, he
So-
never. I mean, she's a simpleton, high school sweetheart. She's from Provo, Utah. She may not be asking questions.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's true.
Possibly. All right, so Fletch arrives at Stanwyck's mansion on the night of the plotted murder, only to find Stanwyck armed and ready to kill him instead. He reveals he's aware of Stanwyck's real plan to fake his own death by killing Fletch, burning his body, and dressing like Fletch himself, which he is dressed like Fletch, so Stanwyck would then escape to Brazil with his other wife, as well as Gail's $3 million. Stanwyck was also using his private jet to smuggle cocaine from South America to supply Carlin, who unexpectedly shows up, and upon learning of Stanwyck's intention to flee, with $800,000 of his drug money, kills Stanwyck. Carlin then turns his gun on Fletch, but is knocked unconscious by Gail with a tennis racket. Cue Des. Sometime later, Carlin is indicted for Stanwyck's murder due to Fletch's investigation. He begins dating Gail, and in the final scene, he takes her to Rio on vacation. Fletch jokes that he had placed the expenses for the vacation on the Underhill's credit account and then offers the audience the number.
Yeah. So,
I
the
mean,
end
I
of
agree
this
with you.
movie-
I don't think that this girl who could barely hit a fucking ball a minute ago is going to knock this guy out.
No. But here's another problem. So he had $3 million. He doesn't need the 800,000 that the sheriff staked him. You're taking chances. I mean, it's the fucking chief of police of Los Angeles. It's like, you're not just going to disappear with the fucking $1 million of this guy's money. And that's it. Not going to happen. This guy has way too many means at his disposal to find you. This guy is a killer. I do believe he could kill. And I believe that Stanwyck could have gone to him and said, listen, buy me out. Take my half of the business. I just want out. I'm leaving my wife. I'm leaving the country. It's been great doing business with you, but we're going to part ways. No way he's taking a chance double crossing the fucking chief of police. Am I right?
Well, here's the thing. So he is the supplier because he's the one that's going down to South America and getting it. So
Right.
the chief is not going to let him go. And he
Well-
knows that the chief is not going to let him go because there's no business without him.
Right. I don't get that. It all kind of just doesn't make sense because I just don't know why Stanwyck is wrapped up in this. He is married to like one of the richest women in LA who is like the heiress to like this giant commercial airplane company. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know why. Like, why does Alan Stanwyck have to be a drug dealer?
I think he's trying to make as big a hit as he can all at once and get out.
He's like the CEO of this huge company, probably making, $500,000-$600,000 a year. His wife it's all coming to her. He lives in like a fucking $9 million palace. It's like, it just doesn't make sense. He doesn't need to be a drug pusher. Doesn't need to be a drug dealer. There's plenty of ways this guy can get his hand on money. Doesn't
But
make sense.
here's the
to me.
thing. Waiting for the dad to kick the bucket so that she gets it means that Sally is out of the picture. To just wait till he makes a bunch of money working the job is not a quick hit.
Right.
When
But
you're a con man and you're telling all these lies and the expiration date is running out on them, so
you
for how
gotta,
long you're going to be able to trick people?
but you have to remember this. He's been married to Gail for years. He's been a CEO of this company for years. So he's got his own money. It's not like this guy's making like, 35 grand a year painting apartments like somebody we know.
Like me.
This guy is making big money. He's probably got at least $1 million of his own money that he's made in a bank account that's just his. Plus, he's got the $3 million from the Provo fucking ranch that he ripped his wife off for. There's $4 million easy. They probably have a joint bank account that he can take money out without her even knowing. This guy could have left the country with $5-6 million if he had never even met Chief Carlin. So I don't know why he's involving himself in this drug dealing thing.
I don't know.
Doesn't make sense.
The only thing I can say is that I would think it was because he was trying to make as big a hit as he could at once. But
yeah, I don't know.
That's it.
And it is a movie, and they do need to have a storyline.
I know.
These things do need to take place for this movie to actually be made. So you have to keep that in mind as well.
But these
and
are
I
questions.
know that these stories are based on books, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a book about this actual, story. And if you read it, you probably get more insight into it.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. I've read many books that movies were then made out of, especially Tom Clancy novels.
Right.
And
right.
The movie never captures
Yeah.
the real scene that the book does.
It just can't. It can't. It can get close, but it can never do the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can't, there's just so much information they can pack into a book. And, your mind is creating all these, these movies from what you're reading on the pages. And, what they're trying to do in, 90 minutes is just never going to accomplish what you can put into a novel.
I think when they made the movie, they tried to go too far in a short amount of time.
Possibly.
It can be, I mean, like I said in the beginning, when Stanwyck approaches Fletch, you know nothing about Chief Carlin and Stanwyck in business.
Right.
So you're dealing with two different ends of the story that end up meeting in the middle. And I think that's the whole point of just a circular thought of everybody involved in the movie.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Stanwyck's plan just seemed fucking paper thin. It was trash.
Fair enough.
All right. So I think we've done Fletch.
I think so.
So now it is time to head to the recasting couch.
Woo.
Man. I wonder why we have 11 listeners. Dylan, go ahead. Recast this bitch.
All right. So I'm going to recast the role of Fletch's boss. And I'm going to recast it with Harry Dean Stanton. Because I think that he would have fit right in there perfectly.
I like that.
Des hates Harry Dean Stanton.
How can you hate Harry Dean Stanton?
He
You
never
know who
likes
Harry Dean Stanton is.
Yes, you do. He's in Aliens. He's in Pretty in Pink. He's in Red Dawn. He's Mr. Eckhart in Red Dawn.
Oh,
How can you not know who he is?
It's not ringing a bell.
Dude.
Ringing a bell.
Dude, he's in Repo Man. He's in Escape from New York. He's in Private Benjamin.
Nope.
Like, how? No. Honey, will you fucking just Google the man, you fucking dumbbell, please?
Okay.
He's in Up in Smoke, for crying out loud. What's wrong with you?
Still doesn't ring a bell. Oh, the guy with the mustache, the chief in Up in Smoke? Chief of police?
Oh my God. Okay, move on.
All right, Pat, what do you got?
Joe Don Baker played opposite Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours. Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte. I like that.
I can see Nick Nolte
That is
as the
inspired.
chief.
I like that. Okay, you ready for this? Because this is going to be an earth-shattering. This is amazing.
Here we go. Let's have it.
Dude, this would be great. I want you to really think about the delivery of this actor, the way he would deliver these lines in this improv, and tell me this doesn't work perfectly. You remove Chevy Chase and you put in Eddie Murphy.
Oh, absolutely. That's
Right?
easy to see. I can easily see that.
It could work.
Easily. It would be great. It would be great.
Or how about this? Dan Aykroyd.
I thought about Dan Aykroyd, but he's not good enough looking. I think. Well, but
Come
no,
on.
because Fletch is a ladies' man. I mean, he's a ladies' man, and Eddie's a ladies' man. But you know what's funny is if you guys will refer to Neighbors with Dan Aykroyd, where he plays Captain Vic. He's not quite so dorky because they're trying to portray him as like, the rock and roller and the ladies' man. So I think back in the late 70s, Aykroyd probably could have pulled this off. He was tall, he was handsome, he was in good shape, he was thin. I think that would work, but I think Eddie Murphy is the play there.
Okay.
I can go with either one.
All right. So
well,
that's
then you, with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy, you now got 48 hours.
It is. It's 48 hours. A great movie. Great movie. I love it. Combination of comedy and drama in 48 hours. Really, really good.
Action
Don't think
thriller.
that movie could be made today. I mean, it's like
There's
a lot
overly
of-
racial.
Yeah.
This is why we haven't done Trading Places yet.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, some of these
fantastic
movies,
movie, but yeah, very, very racially charged at this point.
And I love 48 Hours, seen it a million times. Love Trading Places, seen it a million times. But there are just so many scenes that I literally just cringe. And I wonder how they were greenlit. Like and I've said this before. I've said this before on the podcast, like with the Bad News Bears. Couldn't make that movie today. Couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. But that is what life was in the 70s. That's how people talked. That was what it was. So when you're watching a movie from the late mid 70s, you're really getting a glimpse into like real life. And like these movies have a feel, an organic feel that you're not going to get today, because what you're seeing on the screen today is what is allowed to be put there by
Heavily filtered.
Yes, it's overly heavily filtered to where it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like you're watching real life. Like you watch Taxi Driver, or you watch, Saturday Night Fever, or the Bad News Bears, or any of these Little Darlings, or any of these. Oh man, Little Darlings, right?
Yeah.
Any of these movies, and you're getting a glimpse into what life was truly like, and the dialogue and the exposition is true to life, and that's why I really like movies from those eras. So yeah. All right, let's do our rewatch score on this. Dylan, what is your rewatch score for Fletch?
I mean, are you gonna
No.
gonna divorce me?
I'm not going to attack, but I will require an explanation. I will require an explanation for a low score.
Explanation.
Okay,
You better
so
justify this, damn it.
justify your existence, maggot.
Yes.
I'm going to give it a 3.55. And the reason
That's
why I'm
fine.
doing that is it's a little bit better than average. I don't like this movie like you do. It's just not for me. It's not made for me. So like, let's be fair. It's not a movie that's made for me. So,
It's a lot better than average.
Well, to you.
For you.
Yeah.
For
For
you,
you.
Des.
Because it
Well,
works
you,
for you,
Des.
because it speaks to you, but it doesn't speak to me on the same level it does you.
It is
So-
better than average for you too. You just can't see it.
I have a quick question.
Go
I
ahead.
have a quick question. I
Please.
don't mean to stop the train.
Go.
I'm at a scene when Fletch went to check
Oh, we're-
out Sally Ann Kavanaugh's house.
We're reviewing the movie again. Okay.
I have a question. I
Go ahead.
had this question and was just reminded of it.
Okay.
Why did he light a cigarette going into that house? The house that he was confronted by the caretaker with the shotgun.
I think he
As soon-
figures that the smell of smoke will bring somebody. If there's somebody in that house, they're going to smell that cigarette and come.
I just
I
saw it was just very strange to see that.
Yeah, because he doesn't
written
smoke
that
through the
way.
rest of the movie.
No, he doesn't. So, I mean, and of course I smoke and I catch shit for it. So I have to think to myself, as soon as he walks in the door, he lights a cigarette. I'm like, why the fuck is he doing that?
What are you looking for under the bed?
This guy couldn't have been more of a drone if he was a zombie.
I
Who
love
did
them.
they say he was? Did they say who he actually was? Was it like her
Caretaker.
brother? Or just a caretaker?
Just a caretaker.
Of the house, just watching the house. I hate to pull rank on you, and with the mattress police, there are no tags on these mattresses.
What are you looking for on the bed?
Oh, well, Fredo and his brother. He's like, it's all great. It's all great.
The movie is great with one-liners and quick retorts to
fun characters
anything.
too. Fun characters. And we did not mention Fletch's fucking hippie roller skating outfit, which was just amazing.
Best costume in the movie.
Yes, agreed.
In the movie. You couldn't, I remember the first time I saw that scene. I had absolutely no fucking idea it was Fletch until he started talking to Gummy. Because it looked nothing like Fletch.
He looks like the boss at the newspaper office.
Yes. Yes, without the glasses.
Fun fact, that costume is based on Ram Dass.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, if you're not familiar with Ram Dass, fucking wake up. Okay.
Wow.
Pat, what is your rewatch score?
I'm going to give this a 4.5.
4.5. Explain yourself. Where's the half a point? Where's the half a point missing?
There are some scenes. The lodge scene was good, but I think it was too long.
No,
he went on, and he's up on the mic, and he's going on and
so good.
On and on and on. If he could have just, you're not going to start for singing, Iris.
Dude, come on. It goes on and on. It's fucking great. Okay, so 4.5 from Pat, and so come on. This is going to be no surprise. But what's weird is this is going to be 3 in a row for me. It's a perfect movie. It's a 5 rewatch. It's a perfect movie. It's perfect. It's fucking Fletch. It's Fletch. That's all I have to say. It's Fletch. So it's been Deadpool, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and Fletch. So I'm now 3 5 rewatch scores in a row. Yeah. So yeah, it's a 5. Dylan, will you calculate those scores and tell us where this movie lands on the hey, did you ever see that movie list?
I mean, yes, I can and I will, but I also want to preface it by saying I don't want to live with you for the rest of the night because you're going to have a fucking conniption fit over this.
If this fucking movie is below Black Christmas, if this is below Black Christmas,
this is awesome.
It's not.
Okay.
It's above Black Christmas.
All right. Okay.
But just
then he's good.
Then
he's fine. He's fine now. He's fine now.
Okay.
As long as it's above Black Christmas.
Give me the news.
Fletch is coming in at number 15 with 4.35, which is just under Constantine at 4.38, but above True Lies at 4.33, tied with The Ref at 4.33. So it falls in that.
I think that's good. I think
live with that.
I'm good with that too. I mean, The Ref was amazing. Constantine was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And True Lies was amazing. But honestly, and this is better or worse than True Lies?
Better by a little bit.
And I would say that it's better by a little bit, and only because I think True Lies is a little long. I think that movie just, much like the review we did of it, just a little long. So, all right, I like that.
And it's when you look at the movies above it: Constantine, Lethal Weapon, The Lost Boys, Big Trouble, Little China, True Romance, The Boondock Saints, First Blood, The Wedding Singer, Central Intelligence, Sinister, Fast Times, Daddy's, like going all the way up to number 1. Like, these are all movies that are better than Fletch, frankly.
Sinister's not, but a lot of the other ones you said are.
Sinister is a very good movie. It's just a different movie. It's good in different ways, and it's very clever in its cinematography. We have to go through this every single time you fucking try to diss Sinister.
I love Sinister. It's just not as good as Fletch.
I know, but you're still dissing it for no reason.
Sinister.
It's not as good as Fletch.
It is.
It's not.
It's the cinematography in Sinister and the storytelling is 1,000 times better. You just poked 1,000 holes into Fletch, into the storytelling. There's no holes in Sinister.
Okay,
no holes.
Much like with the music podcast we did this week, we did Kiss Rock and Roll Over. And
Rock and Roll All Over, you mean?
It's Rock and Roll Over. No, it's Rock and Roll Over. There's no all. And I got
then why did I put all in all the fucking promo shit?
I got fucking like Ed hit me with a flamethrower because I'm like, you guys are all fucking idiots. You've been calling it rock and roll over. It's rock and roll all over. Can you guys tell me why you're all so dumb? And Ed picked up the album cover and he goes, because it's called Rock and Roll Over, you fucking moron. You're
Oh
on
my
your saying you're the
God.
biggest Kiss fan to ever walk the planet and you don't even know the name of the fucking record.
Oh my
So-
God. Well, I guess I better fix that shit.
Yeah. So I took a beating for that. But yeah, so like with Fletch, I told those guys, I said, this album is probably a 79, but I'm giving it a 90.1 because every Kiss album, vintage from the 70s before Unmasked, starts with a base score of 90.1. I don't give a fuck what it sounds like. I don't even have to listen to the album. It starts at 91. So yeah, there it is. Okay, so if you would like to listen to that podcast, please head over to Breaking Vinyl and check it out. It was a very good episode. So next week, we will be back and we are going to be changing up the Mikki segment. Going forward, Mikki will be joined by her husband, Tony 2.0, and we are going to be doing couples date night at the movies.
Yeah, when we
doing
can. I don't want to lock him in every single time if he's not ready to do, though.
Oh, he's ready to do it. I already signed him up. Contract's been signed. Contract's been signed.
Fair enough.
So yeah, we're going to do this once a month. It's going to be the two of us, the two dysfunctional couples arguing and bickering and watching a movie together and disagreeing and
Awesome.
the whole nine yards. So it'll be
great to listen to.
Yeah, this was actually Pat's idea. Pat listened to Tombstone and said, you know what, you need to bring fucking Tony on board with fucking Mikki as a tandem fucking
They
podcasting.
play off of each other like you two play off of each other, and it works.
It works.
Put the two couples together, and then maybe we'll get lucky and the girls will gang up on the guys.
We try. We try every time, but
oh God, yeah. Okay, so that's it.
Effort.
That's it. We'll be back next week with Mikki and Tony 2.0, where we will be starting our October spooktacular month, where we will be doing only scary movies. So let me lay it out for you. Next week is going to be Poltergeist with Mikki and Tony. The following week will be Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. What we'll be doing with Tony. Original
recipe, Tony.
Original recipe, Tony. The following week, we will be back again with Pat, the podcaster with a fully packed bong, where we will be discussing Mama.
No, Mama.
Okay, Mama. And then we will be wrapping up the month of October again with Pat, where we will be doing the iconic movie Ghostbusters. This one's a long time coming, so very excited.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Both of them.
They hate when you do that. Okay. So until next week. No kiss.
When someone asks if you're a guard, you say yes.
Holy shit.
Oh, and there's, I don't know if you saw Afterlife. I know Des and I
did,
have.
and I loved it.
Oh,
loved
that
it.
movie was such a throwback. When she asked Ray again if he was a god, and he hesitated, and Winston's like, Ray.
Oh, so good. So good.
I actually want to watch that movie again because that movie was such a great. That should have been the sequel to the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
it should never have been a Ghostbusters 2.
This is the best sequel. It's the best. It's the best Ghostbusters sequel, and I absolutely cried at the end when Egon showed up.
Oh, the ghost of Egon!
I cried.
Everything about that movie. The only thing I didn't like about that movie was Podcast because he was just weird.
Yeah, I mean, but that brought. I mean, okay.
With the microphone with a pistol grip. Oh my God.
All right. So until next week, I just have one question for you. Hey, did you ever see that movie? See you next time.